Hey guys, look at this strange carving in Candi Sukuh Temple. A man is tied upside down and is hanging from a tree. On the other side, you can see this figure ready to do something crazy. What is he holding in his hands? Is that a chakra, an ancient disc-like weapon? Is he going to throw the chakra to harm this person tied to the tree? Or is he going to release the chakra to cut the rope and free him? What is this vulture doing nearby? But you have missed an important detail in this carving. In between these two people, there is something strange. What is that? Because of time, this has eroded away, but we are going to enhance the image and find out what it is. See this? This is a lingam because we can see the cylinder on top and we can see the two spheres carved around here, just like the lingam they found in this site. So there is a lingam carved in between them. But what is going on? What does this carving mean and why is it carved in this ancient temple in Indonesia? This carving is more interesting. Here you can see this guy tied to a tree. See how his hands are going behind and look at the alignment of his body. It is clear that he is tied to a tree. But why? Right in front of him you can see something crazy. There is another figure holding a giant sword. It appears as though this figure is going to punish him. But the aggressor is not a man or a male. It is a female. We can clearly see from her upper body that she is a female. And she even has fangs. And the person tied to the tree is male. Behind her, you can see two more females. They appear to be talking to each other. But there's something that's truly shocking. You see this? Is this a head? Or is it something else? What about that? That looks definitely like a human head, right? And even more crazy, we can see a hand here. Yes, just a hand, possibly severed from a body. So what is going to happen to him? And most importantly, why is it happening to him? Look at his neck. He is wearing a pendant and it is shaped like a snake. This may indicate that he is a Naga. And notice that all of them have elongated skulls. And if you look carefully, you can see how they all have holes in their skulls. Candi Sukuh is the strangest temple in the world. Here is a figure who was richly ornamented, a figure of authority. But what is he doing? Nearby, a person is tied upside down. See how his feet are up and his face is directly in front of the authority on the left. And this time, he's not tied to a tree. He's attached to a complex torture device with vertical and horizontal arms. In stark contrast to the fully ornamented authority figure, the guy upside down is shown with no ornaments or even clothes. His feet and arms are bare and he is clearly in distress. Is he being interrogated? Was he subject to some kind of experimentation? What is this figure holding in his hands? Why do we see such carvings here? And this makes us wonder, why were so many people harassed and tormented? They must have had something important. Where was this precious thing kept? Look on top of this structure. At the bottom, there are many figures. They have elongated heads and they seem to be guarding something on top of the mountain. The reason why I think this is a mountain is because of all the trees shown in the mid-level. at the very top, there are no humans, but we see the same vulture we saw with the man holding the chakra. Remember, eagles and vultures usually live on mountaintops, but the sculptor has clearly carved something weird here. There is a box. It looks like a giant wooden box which eerily reminds us of the Ark of the Covenant. But what's around the box makes it even more intriguing. It's placed inside a tight chamber, and this chamber is protected by spears all around it to make sure nobody can touch it. On the right side, you can see a series of spears. On top as well, you can see a bunch of these spears so no one can touch the ark. And on the left side, apart from the spears, you can clearly see a door-like mechanism, indicating that this was a high-tech vault, a giant safe-like device during ancient times. Whatever was in that box must have been very, very important because they had to put it on a remote mountaintop with such high security. The question is, are the carvings of harassment related to this ark? Were they trying to find the ark? What was inside the box? Was the ark filled with gold and precious gemstones? Or did it have an energy rod or some kind of an advanced device? This temple is full of strange and unexplainable carvings, and my initial reaction looking at these carvings is that this is a hoax. Someone must have built this in the last 100 years to make it look like it's ancient, but it must be a modern structure. But archaeologists confirm that this is at least 600 years old, and some are debating that this structure is much older, not newer as I had initially thought. In my channel, I've shown you hundreds of Hindu temples, not only in India, but also in other countries like Cambodia and Sri Lanka. But you never see carvings like this. Hindu temples are built to show beauty and usually evoke a good feeling when you visit them. You may find some carvings of violence, but it's usually a god killing a demon, so you see it as good prevailing over evil. But this temple is totally different. In many ways, it reminds me of the Mayas of Central America, where they repeatedly carved the subjugation of their captured enemies. This temple is just different in so many ways. It shows details that are in your face. Human beings usually use an invisible, unspoken code of conduct, right? It's not explicitly told, but we are not supposed to be violent or vulgar, and most ancient sites usually comply with this code. But this temple, however, does not care, and it just delivers everything raw. YouTube has already demonetized my first episode video simply because I've shown the carvings as they are. I'm not creating any images, right? I'm merely showing you what was carved many centuries ago. But you can see how it is still socially unacceptable and I can be punished for it. Even though I'm losing money and YouTube shadow bans me, I have to show you these carvings as they are because these are priceless ancient carvings. I have a duty to show you these rare carvings, and I hope more and more people will research them and unearth our true history. We can see many strange, unexplainable carvings here, but look carefully. You see these barcodes here? Yes, those are helpful barcodes that will give us more information about these carvings. I scanned these barcodes because these are absolutely novel scenes. I had never seen anything like this in any other Hindu temple before. And what happened next was something strange because it took me to a website with the name adisumormoairport.com. Why would an archaeological site take me to an airport website? If you're watching it in 2023, you can actually scan this barcode now and it will still work. But I think eventually Indonesian authorities will watch this video and fix it. I certainly hope they do. What's even more weird, the pages give explanations that do not exist in ancient Hindu texts. Here's a carving that shows a figure lifting up another guy with his left hand and is stabbing him with a weapon using his right hand. When I scanned the barcode next to it, it went to this page and I translated it using Google. You can clearly see that it says Bhima was fighting against the giant Kalantaka. But such an event is never mentioned in any ancient Hindu text. Even worse, who is Kalantaka? Kalantaka is Lord Shiva, the supreme god in Hinduism. So I'm positive that this carving is not showing Bhima killing Lord Shiva. But let's say Indonesians have a distorted version of the Hindu texts and have their own story where Bhima lifts up Kalantaka and stabs him. But here's another carving, exact same carving, found in the same temple, showing the same details, but the aggressor is a woman. So it is clearly not Bhima. So the interpretation of these carvings are not accurate, and experts do not understand most of these carvings. This is because 87% of Indonesians are Muslims today, and they haven't studied ancient Hindu texts. And because Candi Sukuh is such a strange temple, I doubt if anybody can decode the real meaning of these carvings. But here you can see an inscription. It should be easy to decode this now, right? But the inscriptions are said to be cryptic and make things even more complicated. Experts are saying that these letters translate into a chronogram, meaning it translates into a particular time. In this carving, the inscription is said to indicate the year 1361 Saka, which roughly translates to 1439 AD. You can see these writings in several places in this temple. And look at the script. It's very odd and reminds us of ancient Sanskrit, Tamil, and even English letters. But experts are saying that most of these inscriptions are vague and they may just be chronograms and indicate a certain timeline. Remember the main lingam that was originally on the pyramid? Notice how it has an inscription disguised as a vein. Even this is said to include a chronogram of the year 1440. This script is extinct now, and we don't know how accurate the translations are. What do these carvings actually mean? Why do we see such violence? Were they trying to find something precious on earth? Why do we see a box placed on top of a mountain protected by spears? What's in the box? Why did the builders not care about the human code of conduct? Why did they create such raw, blunt visuals? Does it show humans? If so, Why does it show figures with elongated heads in many places? What about the holes found on their skulls? Humans don't have such holes, so why did ancient builders specifically drill these holes in the heads of these figures? Archaeologists and historians agree that the Candi Sukuh Temple was not built according to the Hindu architecture called Vastu Shastra. This is known as Vastu Vaidya in Indonesia. What made them build a pyramid and put such a strange lingam on top of it? Why are we sent to a shady website when we scan these barcodes? And why do we find fictitious stories that are not found in Hindu texts? Why do we find carvings that demonstrate the union of male and female energy? And why does it show the umbilical cord? Why do we see humans and animals held by figures with elongated heads? Were they genetically modifying humans and animals? Why were the locals forbidden from visiting this temple for centuries? Who destroyed this temple and why? Why did they bury some parts of the destroyed statues underground? And when archaeologists put them together, why did they find an astronaut with a helmet and boots? Of all the ancient sites I've shown you, I think we can agree that this is the strangest temple ever. I hope you like this video. I am Praveen Mohan. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.